Good evening, Sports Wave and the show Sports Corner. And I am your the Conn, and with me this evening I have a special. His name is Houtman, and I'm on and privileged on my show. And we're gonna get we're gonna take it back and bring it forward once he comes has amazing, and we're gonna get. So I just we're gonna go. It's gonna be me, and we're gonna get some. But I'll tell you a little bit about Marcus before he comes on. Marcus was born August 8th, 1969. New Bedford is a Cape American basketball point guard. He is an two-time inductee at the University of Massachusetts. Hopefully, get where he played college basketball for 2.5 years, following 3 semesters at Stone. Helped me play 25 number two ranked team at UMass that made 16, which made him a player to play Division two and three NCAA Sweet 16. Houtman is on the Cape basketball team, including the squad between FIBA Africa Championship 2004. Professionally, Houtman played Boston Friends, which we're going to get into, by the way, coached by Joe Jellybean Bryant. You guys may be familiar with him. That would be Kobe Bryant, God bless his soul, his dad. And after graduation, he also was a graduate of New Bedford High School, which we're going to talk about that when we bring it back. We're going to take it back and bring it forward. I'm trying to think about, when he comes on, what I like to do is something a little different because I know he's going to be interviewed by everybody and all of that. And of course, you got to give out stats and how many numbers and all that. But I'm a firm believer that stats can go north or south depending upon how you want to portray them and how you want to use them in your argument for or against. What I really like to do this evening is give Marcus his roses and to let the viewers and the folks know more about the person than the stats. And as you will see during the course of this evening and the show, Marcus has done more things off the court than he has done on the court. And that's kind of what I want. I want to bring a personal level to the show. I just got done doing a great show with Candida Rose, by the way, who's from New Bedford as well. And what a great show that was. And then now I got my boy Marcus coming on. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So while we're waiting for him to come on, you know me, I got a big mouth. I'm going to talk about also when I'm done with this, I have what we call the courtside view, which is a all access, all NBA show, which we do at 9 p.m. live. I got my boys, Koo McCain, who's off the hook, and then I got Coach Dante. These guys are maybe even my boss Key Williams might also join as well. So while we're waiting for Marcus, he'll be here. Best believe he'll be here. I don't want to say too much because I want him to go on and on. But I'll tell you a little bit back from my personal view. I've known the Houtmans for about since 1914. We go back a long way. The Houtman family is well known throughout the community. The Houtman Silver connection. It goes way back. But I got one quick story before Marcus comes on. This is a little something. Their family is well known, and I have to tell a quick story about Mr. Albert Houtman, which would be Marcus's grandfather. Now, when I was a little younger and I had a little bit of game, I would play in the 35 and over league. You guys are gonna love this. I would be playing in the 35 and over league, and those of you who know Mr. Houtman know what I'm talking about. So I think I was doing all right. I was doing my thing a little something, and I'm running down the court. And I hear Mr. Houtman tell me, "You suck." I said, really? I thought I was pretty. He said, "You suck." I said, "Oh, wow. Damn. All right." So fast forward, now I'm refereeing. I'm a certified ref. I done refed all over Division I, division. Not college, high school level. and I'm refereeing at the Burgle Basketball Association Summer League, and they would bring them up there to watch the men's league, and which was very all great talent. Now I'm refereeing, and then I'm running up and down the court doing my best, and then I hear, "Damn, you suck." I'm like, all this again? So anyway, you got that show Oprah Winfrey when she goes, "You get a car, you get a car, you get a truck." Mr. Houtman would be like, "You suck, you suck, you suck." It was hilarious. And one thing about Mr. Houtman, which I'm going to bring up, is the fact that I do that annual Thanksgiving Eve thing, which is going on year number 37, and Mr. Houtman is kind of responsible for me doing it. I don't want make a long story short because it ain't about me; it's about Marques. But you know, uh, Peter Brittle, who had just recently passed away, had got me in his house on the kitchen table, and he opened up a book, and the book had a picture of Mr. Houtman, my dad. I think it was Mr. Lesser, and a few other people who I don't remember. And I said, "Well, damn, that's a great idea." So I went to the Boys Club and spoke with Mr. Robert Mendes. I said, "Robert, can I take a picture with my boys?" One year, and then all of a sudden, it ended up being year number 37. Anyway, I don't know who we got coming on right now because you know me, I'll talk all night. But I think we have. I think they're coming on now. They heard enough about my big mouth. But anyway, again, we're here to honor. I'm here to honor Mr. Marques Houtman, and I thought it was just going to be me and him, but I don't know. I don't know who we got on here, but we'll kick it again. Is anyone there? Who's out there? Hello? Ah, oh, here we go. What's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, Michael. It's Missy.
Missy, oh, okay. We got Missy in the house. I
I'm
think we're
calling
going
from
to.
DC, well, Maryland. Sorry,
Okay.
out and about, but just wanted to congratulate Marcus.
Well, thank you for coming aboard. He'll be here shortly. Any recollections you can talk about, Marcus, that you want to, say about? I know you got stories. Something you could say on air.
Well, you know what I can say is I remember this, as my mom said, when Marcus was a baby, he had always had sweaty feet. And my mom said that that was a sign that Marcus was going to travel. And Marcus sure has traveled around the
Oh,
world. So that's one thing I remember. And I just remember him always with balling, talking about going to Cape Verde and trying to get everybody there, and with our other nephews that have gone with him. So it's just been really nice to see what Marcus has done. Hmm.
and, I was talking about the connection between the Houtmans and the Silver family, and what a great connection that is. And I know Bev's going to be coming on, and I'm not sure who else is coming. I have no idea. Could be a surprise. We don't know. But what y'all in DC now, right?
Yeah, Maryland. Yep.
Okay, okay, okay. And of course, you guys, your family's very close, and while we're waiting for Marcus to come on, is there anything else you want to add on before we get whoever knows? This is going to be a surprise night, so we don't know what's going to happen.
No, I don't, but I know Bev's trying to get on.
It's gonna be a great night. I'm not even worried about it. It's gonna be pretty good. But yeah. So, you have any other recollections about Marcus that you want to say? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sometimes technology happens. That's why my show always happens on my show. But we can go on again. Um, but while we're waiting for Marcus to come on, and whoever else might surprise to come on as well, again, it's a testament to Marcus. I can tell quick stories because Marcus is one he can talk. So I got a couple of stories that I like to say. When Marcus, no matter of fact, I got so many stories I can say. We'll go back a little bit. I worked in the Department of Corrections for 30 years, and what I used to do is because I had the connections and because I was still involved playing and refereeing, so I came across a lot of people in my days. And what I would do is, like, usually for Black History Month, I would bring out my teams to come in and play. And um, Matter of fact, his father played, and Sonny Silver played, and I would get a lot of the area superstars, and damn near almost anybody who was anybody played at my prison. We can go John Garris, we can go Jason Baptiste, Billy Houtman, Marques Houtman, Isaiah Houtman, Stephen. I mean, the list goes on and on, and Jamie. The list goes on and on and on. But anyway, the thing I want to talk about the person again is because I would call Mark and say, Mark, would you want to come and play at the prison? He said, sure. And he came. I don't know for how many times he came. I lost count, but he came like five, maybe eight. I got dementia, dyslexia too. But he came about maybe 8 to 10 times. He came, and we always never lost. You better believe that. I wasn't having that. But there was one thing that stands out because he would always come. And then was one time he called me up. He said, Mike, Coop wants to know if he can come and play. Now, this is Stephen Cooper. San Diego Chargers, a linebacker, Stephen Cooper. I said, who? He said, Cooper. What? Sure. Cooper came in, and Cooper pinning stuff on top of the square, elbow over the place was packed. It was crazy. So here's another story while we're waiting on Marcus. I remember, because now the inmates are talking smack. So now I'm like, really? Okay, you want me to go there? So I contacted Mr. Jamie Benton. For those of you who don't know who he is, he played at BC in the backcourt with Dana Barrows. So the inmates were, yeah, we're gonna get him. I said, no, you're not. And so I said, I got somebody for you. They said, who? I said, never mind. I said, he's gonna get 40 on you guys. Yeah, yeah, right. So they got this big, lifting guy benches about 450, big dude, about 6'2", 6'3", and so what happened is before the game I said he's gonna get 40 on you. Anyway, so Marcus, the game they already know Marcus. They know Marcus from Red. He's been coming, so they already know Marcus is gonna get his 30, 40, whatever. So I said this guy's gonna get 40 on you. So Jamie missed his first 8 shots. So they're on the front row. All the inmates, yeah, you said he was good. And all I did was go, shh. Yeah, I said, shh. Jamie proceeded to get, I forgot. Marcus might tell you a better story because he probably has a better memory than me. I think Marcus got 45 and Jamie got 40 something. But that was one of the great things. And the thing about Marcus is because all the success he's had, and we're going to talk about his overseas when he comes on.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, who am I? No.
You can't hear me?
Who am I speaking with?
Auntie Bev, I see you.
This is Bev, folks. This is Bev. Bev is
my camera's not on. I can't see the camera, but I can see you.
Okay, but you can hear me, right?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody.
Well, your sister was just on. She wanted to say hello.
I saw Missy. Yep. Wonderful. Yep.
Now, you know me, I got a big mouth, as you already know. So we're honored to have Marcus. He better be here soon because I just had a show. I'm losing my voice. But Bev, we contacted each other, and you wanted to be a part of this. So
absolutely, this is history in the making for my family, for Ray, Yvonne. We went through a journey. 10 sisters and one brother, Sonny. Like we watched our parents come from the Cape, teach us the Cape Verde stuff, and we didn't understand because back in the day we didn't want to be Cape Verde. We wanted to be black and proud. And now this nation has been blown up, and we are so wonderful to be a part of this nation and to send our nephew over to continents and become a Michael Jordan back there. This is powerful. Anything is achieved. The sky is not the limit. It's further than the sky.
You are absolutely correct. And I'm glad we got together and decided to do this because it's great to be able to give him his flowers because he's done so much. Prior to you coming on, I was just talking about how humble he is, and I ran off a little bit of his stats, and I was trying to let the viewers know stats are important depending upon how you use them. I wanted to discuss him as the person, his great family, his great friends. I want to talk on a more personal note than just numbers, stats. And once he comes on, we'll talk about his nomination. I'm gonna wait for him to come on and let him discuss that. But are there any other things you can recollect about Marcus that you can convey on the air?
You know something? I left in 1980, and I was in San Diego for like 4 years. But I always heard that Marcus was a go-getter. Okay, Auntie Bonnie, okay, his mom, she was very disciplined. You know, they had to do certain things and all that. Had to eat the vegetables and had to be in bed at a certain time. Had to take care of things around the house. And so she had groomed him from a little boy to become who he already is. And his father was behind her saying, "This is what we're going to do. You don't like it? Just shut up and just do it." Okay. Okay. And, you know, I have a son, and my son learned to read books in the summertime and eat vegetables. And all the nieces and nephews know when you stayed at Auntie Bonnie, she had a regiment. So she prepared Marcus for this journey that he was on, that he didn't even know God had put in front of him. And Ray was the backbone saying, "Shut up. That's your mother. Listen to her. We just do it."
Okay? Yeah, that's true. That is so true. That's very true. You know, I'm just like reflecting. I'm trying to, because before you got on, Bev, I was saying I want to take it back and then bring it forward. I want to take it back, you know, to his youth, take it back to his high school days. If he does come on soon, I want to get together with him on that. And just because again, you were in San Diego, I think, at the time when he had his.
I was in San Diego, but I remember this little chubby little boy with his red hair. We didn't know where it came from. We had to research and know that it came from my mother's side. And he had freckles.
Yep.
So Ray and Yvonne would bring him out, and people be looking at like, whose child is that? Are you babysitting? You know? And that was, but he has a unique persona, has a unique conversation. And as I said to you earlier, Marcus has the gift of gab, but when he speaks, he has so much wisdom to share. So you sit back and you take in everything he has to share, because he's speaking from another level than we can even imagine.
You know something that is so true. Here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you the man himself, Mr. Marques Houtman. How you doing, my brother? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yes. We got Auntie Bev on the air as well.
Hi, Marcus. Hey.
Auntie Bev, man, you can't show your face?
I don't know why my camera's not working. I don't know if it's me or the computer, because I put my makeup on. I tried to look good.
Sorry, guys. I had to download all kind of software. I apologize.
You ain't got to apologize for nothing, my brother. You know,
now you can see me, Marcus.
So, here's you.
Oh, now you can see me. Hi, honey.
What's up, Auntie?
I got nothing but love for you. I'm so proud of you, to the moon and back and around the corner, roller skates and everything. Okay, the bus and everywhere you go.
Surprise, it's crazy. Are you guys? What is this online? Are you got it on Facebook or no?
We live on my show, bro.
Nice.
I'm saying in my living room, Marcus.
Yeah, before we go any further, I just got done interviewing Candida Rose. And when she found out you were coming on my show, she was almost in tears. She was so excited that knowing that you were going to come on as well. So she gave you, and you know, personally, I just thought it was just going to be me and you, but apparently that ain't going to happen. You know what I mean?
We're not letting it happen, Marcus. This is a moment for you. So we got
another aunt.
Yeah, we got whoever can show up.
It's Auntie Missy, Marcus. Sorry, I'm getting in the house. So.
Hey, Marcus, you my brother. You know, Auntie Bev and I, you know, we spoke about this, so this is going to be something good. And right now, it's out the bag. We got a few more surprises for you coming, my brother. But anyway, what I wanted to do while, you know, your aunts are getting ready, and when I was speaking to them, you know, I read a little bit about your stats, but Marcus, you know, I was saying stats can be misleading, either north or south, depending upon how you want to use them for your particular argument. With you, because I want to give you your roses, I want people to know more about the personal side. The stats are great and all that, but I want people to know the person that you are. And I said that all the things he's done on the court, he's done even more off the court, which y'all going to get into in a little bit later on. We'll get into that as well.
All right.
Oh, yeah. We Hey, I saw your interview with Zach, and it was fantastic. And he's way better than me. But I want this to be a more and your Auntie Bev, we want this to be more of a family thing, and to give you all your roses. So better give a shout out to Auntie Bev because she's the one that set this all up too as well.
No, Michael, you set it up. I just invited everybody. Okay, and I wish Nana, Marcus, I wish Nana could be, but Nana's probably on her bedtime, but she's going to hear about
People
this.
are hitting me up. I don't know who can see this.
I don't know I don't know.
We got other people in here, Marcus. Take a look.
You have no idea who's. I don't know who's on. I have no idea.
Sonny, your mic is off. You're on mute, Sonny.
Another guy I didn't beat. There's another guy I never got to beat.
Who?
Sonny, you're on mute. He just took it. Okay, something happened with his camera.
He's just gonna talk about how he always beat me.
I think he can hear us.
With the belt or not?
No, in 1-on-1. I never lost. I never beat him.
Can you hear us? Oh, now who else is coming on? I told you this is gonna be one of them. This is gonna be like.
There's a guy I beat for a little bit, and then he started beating me.
What's up, brother? Congratulations, man. I love you, man.
Thank you. Love you too,
So
guys.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Hi, Isaiah.
Hey, aunties.
Oh, Zeke.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Where's the link for live? Because people are hitting me up, or is it just us group?
We got a few other people coming on. I ain't gonna say no names. We got a few other people coming.
I'm saying, is it live stream or is it just a stream out for you?
It's live. To send the link, I sent the link to a few individuals. So since it's out the bag, I don't care. Your boy Stephen Coop's coming on as well, and hey, I wanted this to be a special night for you, my brother. So obviously we got our family. Now I want each and every one of you guys to reflect on something that we can say on air about Mr. Marques Houtman. I don't know who wants to go first. Bev, you handle this.
Okay, so let's go from the oldest to the youngest. Actually, no, let's go the youngest to the oldest.
Oh,
okay.
Put me.
All right, Missy, you're the youngest.
So Marcus,
the youngest one. Oh, actually, no, Isaiah's the youngest.
I was waiting for you guys to figure that one out. I was just gonna let it ride. I've lived my entire life with my brother, so I want to hear you guys first because he's been my idol for a while. As my dude. We have long conversations over the years, and I just can't be more proud of this guy because he is very humble. He'll tell a story here, a story there, but he won't tell the whole story. He'll tell you what you want to hear, what you need to hear at the time, but he won't go into details because that's the kind of guy he is, and it's coming out now, so he can't keep those secrets anymore. You're gonna have to talk about his experience at this point now. And I'm so excited to hear the full stories now.
Nah, you're right, man. We spent a lot of time together, man. There was a healthy rivalry. You being such a good athlete, so young, and I know I pushed you to that, but it really pushed me too. And I think that being as close as we are, you helped me through a lot of stuff because I'm kind of too smart for my own good sometimes, and you get into these little ruts. But then you helped me blast out of them.
Yeah, but you talk. We made that connection long time ago before siblings supposed to. That it's us two against the world, and no matter what happens, we're always going to be there for each other. And I will tell you this: I may have beaten him one time 1-on-1, but we don't lose much when we're together. We don't lose much or often when we're together, and that's in life, and that's on the court and off the court.
That's real. We could let one secret out the bag. We figured out by like 6 and 5 or 4 that people didn't always do what they said they was gonna do. Because our family was like this, and then how the world might be, but then they didn't have us judging right. So what it made us do is go right to the drawing board. So that went far with me, especially when I was out there by myself.
Who's next?
Okay, Missy, you want to go next?
I thought I spoke, and then
I know, but they didn't hear you. You spoke when they went on camera.
Oh, okay.
I should say something about you guys after, but
yeah, you want to read something about us?
Gives me memories
can it be on camera? Can it be on camera?
Go ahead. Hey, go ahead.
She's the only one, right? Right, guys? Auntie Bev's the only one that we might have to get the editor for.
Are you serious?
She already started already. She's already started.
No, I'm in good. This is like I just love my guns. Marcus and
I love it,
Isaiah are my
Auntie.
guns when I go home. Okay, I go into a restaurant and I know no one's gonna bother me because I got my two guns. I look like the Oreo in the middle. Okay, but we got chocolate on one side, or vanilla on one side, and we got the red on the other side. So I'm good to go. But I love
Right.
these guys. And Marcus, one of the things I said about you that you didn't hear earlier is that you have the gift of gab, like Auntie Di, but when you're talking, you have something to really say that's very important. Okay. My son has sat back and listened to you through the years. And Marcus, I always knew that you had something different. I didn't understand Isaiah like you do too. Everybody has something different. But for you to take this over continents and walk, I mean, Nana and Puppy walked. This is so amazing to me. And what you're doing for the generation behind you, you're setting the bar so high that the sky is not the limit. It's even higher than the sky. Okay. Because these kids, they only saw what we went through. And they think we're really strong women, but they don't realize the strength that you guys have. This basketball stuff, Uncle Sonny started it. Michael was a part of it. Uncle Ray, David, all of them were a part of all of these things that you guys have taken to a whole nother level, that our kids get to see that it's not just the journey as women, it's the journey as men too.
I
And
appreciate that, Auntie.
Yeah,
It does go a long way. We were talking about it earlier when Uncle Sonny called me. And the reason why I do try to put a lot out there, and I'm glad stuff does get out there, but I'm stuck in a book. I've always been stuck in a book. Basketball overseas worked out perfect for me because I'm not a loner, but I enjoy my time alone. And there's a big difference between that. So, you know, I like just reading those things, and I also understand that there's certain paths that everybody goes through no matter what. And throughout history, people have gone through those same things and they have written about them. So I try to distinguish from, you know, the polarity stuff, like is it black or is it white? You get past that, and then you find out that a lot of different eras went through a lot of different things. And when I was walking through Europe, especially with the national team, because we trained a lot in Paris, and that's when I was reading about like World War II with Marcus Wills and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, all that stuff is like happening right over here because we were training at University of Paris. So when I came back, I'm excited to say those things, but I also got a business degree. I know what not to say. But me and Isaiah and I always talked about how, you know, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the kids in some form of fashion without forcing it. And I think that's my dad and me too. Like, I'm not gonna force anything on you. You know, if you open up a door, we can talk about it. But chances are you're going through a few things that we went through, and that's what I try to tell your son. You know,
and trust me, he's listening. He's listening.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Yeah, it's tough to be cool right now. The world's heavy.
Well, for Uncle Sonny, had to be not so cool with having 10 sisters and him being the only boy. Okay. He was Sonny boy, Sonny, whatever. But he paves part of the way too, because he played ball. He played with his heart and soul. I remember Nana watching Sonny go out the door and saying, "Go have a nice touchdown," and we'd laugh and say, "Nana, he's playing basketball." He's not. And back and forth and saying, "Well, Sonny, I hope you score." Well, Mommy, he's not. Well, he can score, but well, Nana going to the games and then getting in a fuss with the referee for Uncle Sonny because she thought he was doing it right. I'm not throwing Nana under the bus, but that passion came from Nana, and it went all the way up to you guys. Okay, she didn't.
We came in a good era. We came in a good era. I tell the kids this a lot, especially working in Far River, because they think I'm a little bit younger, you know. But I tell them I got lucky where I got the best of both worlds. So I got Uncle Sonny, my dad, and we call it the 70s cats. You know what I'm saying? We talked about that all the time, Isaiah. It's like we got raised by these guys that got the true scrapes and bruises from the 60s, and then brought it over, but they were workmen. So when we got to introduced to ball, we knew it was extra off rip. But they're just you guys are just smoother, you know what I mean? So like then we got into this 90s, and like I just got a piece of that world. So that's why I have a lot of old school in me. Now that I'm getting older, people are like, "Oh, you're older," you know? And I'm like, well, I'm more on Auntie Missy's and that era's, the tail end of that, more than I am on the beginning of these younger cats, you know.
So I want to say something, Marcus. Although we are women, us four twins, we used to play the boys at the park, not Monty's Park. I forget the name of the park up the north end. Okay, we'd be out playing the boys 5-on-5. We were challenges, like we wanted to know the game, and sometimes we left and we lost, and sometimes we beat the team that we were at. But we know the passion that you have. We did it as little girls. You're doing it as a gentleman. So that passion carried all the way up your life. And it's something that you will pass on to the next generation.
Absolutely.
And I'm so proud of you for that.
Absolutely.
And this is where I want to jump in. When you talk about the next generation, watching Marcus with a group of kids who tend to not be. I don't want to say anything negative about the kids, but a collection of kids who don't know who they are, to turn them into good teammates, good ball players, and he just has a knack of getting them to believe in themselves. Because a lot of those kids wouldn't be on some of the other teams, but Marcus takes everybody and makes them feel like somebody.
Well, so that's what you taught us. That's what you taught me.
Amen, Sonny.
You know,
and you started to say about when you and Isaiah were playing. Yes, me and your dad played you and Isaiah. Yes, we kicked your butts. Yes, you guys were young. Yes, you guys wanted a rematch, but we're not stupid. So we didn't play you. We kicked your butts, and that's that.
Oh, that's wonderful, Sonny.
But both of you guys, you know, and I'll say this because Isaiah's here too. You guys approach the game with a different mindset. You worked hard, but you also had fun doing so, playing the game. And one of the things that you talked about, Mummy and my mother going to the games, she didn't miss a game unless she couldn't get there, you know. And she used to call you the rake. She said defensively, when you guys were in the press, she said all of a sudden Marcus's arm would stick out like a rake, and you know your traps. You get a lot of those steals. You played the lane correctly, and again, she thought of you as a rake because your arm up there stealing those passes, and you're an offensive player, but yet people forget that you play defense as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got to tell people I play defense every now and then.
No. Well, folks, I have to interject something because, you know, we spoke about Marcus, but we didn't really speak about what's happened recently. So I think, you know, it should be brought out because folks, let me tell you something. Marcus has been nominated for the Naismith Hall of Fame, class of 2000. Hold up, fella. All the viewers, you know, this ain't no little Hall of Fame. I'm gonna name a few of the nominees. Y'all might have heard of them: Chauncey Phillips, Vince Carter, Tom Chambers, Michael Cooper, Toby Cummings, and Marcus Johnson, who Marcus was named after. Just to name a few. And so, you know, that is an outstanding honor. That's something that might not be duplicated from anyone from around here. So what I like to do, because, you know, I got a big mouth, as you all know. So I don't want this to be about me. Marcus, how did you feel when you found out that you were nominated? And give us a little something.
Well, just for the record, Mike's been ducking me for about 18 months because we've been playing horse.
You ain't got to bring that up. You ain't got to bring that up.
Out of COVID. Now, to his defense, I caught fire one time down at Monty's. I apologize to Mitchell, but he was behind me, and I shot the rim straight off. You know how that goes sometimes, Zeke. I got the laser, so I gave that to Mike. The reason why he hasn't been hitting.
You had what was called the feel. You had the feel that day.
Right. Well, I just knew Mike was behind me. No, but so first, Zach Rocha sends me a text. I'm at a party. He sends me a a screenshot, and it has my name with it. I didn't see like the big names up top. He just had like a little section that said name Marques Johnson and a couple other names. So my first thought was, I felt like it was something from like every now and then somebody will hit me to do a podcast or article about living in Africa or living in different parts. So I thought it was just something that they were highlighting because it's been 15 years since that Redeem team. So I'm thinking it's that. And I told him, where do you get this from? And then he sent me the link, and it was like NBA.com or something. So I was like, what is this? And he called me up and he said, you didn't find out, you didn't know about this? Nobody contacted you? And I said, no, they didn't. So he's like, we got to meet. Let's talk tomorrow. So the following day, he does a little research. You find out it's on all kind of different articles. I mean, it's all different sites. And then we try to piece it together. Like, why would I get selected? How's that happen? And he's like, you got to get the stuff out there. And, you know, I told Isaiah, I told a couple of people, but I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes when I think about that era, could have made some decisions better. So I'm like, whatever. We'll see what happens. Somebody will hit me up or Zach will find out. No one hit Zach back, but he said, listen, this is something that you have to archive. It's all legit. It's not something that's not legit. So I want to help you archive. And Zach and I are both marketing guys, and we worked on a few projects together. So he just had an idea, and he said, if you think the time is right, I think we should just do a quick little website that kind of just has a digital, just a digital archive of it. And, you know, 200 people get nominated, only 4 or 5 get in, the big names get in. And he goes, if you could get in, but he's like, let's just do something because you just know so many people. And I said, well, I need to hear from the hall because I like it. It's NBA.com and Nike and US basketball and the source. But so finally the marketing director got in contact with him, and I had a conversation, and he said that someone nominated me, and it happened to be this kid at Durfee, this senior this kid I met a few years ago that we were just talking. And you can throw people's names in, I guess. But he was telling me that the hall, the marketing person was telling me, the guy at the hall, that they have historians looking stuff up. So when they looked it up, they said it isn't, because I told him, I said I didn't play in the NBA, kind of stopped. I know I did a few things that people didn't do, but he said, nah, listen, we went through everything, and you are a nomination. You are a nominee, so go forward with it. So I hit Zach back, and then we planned it, and we're in the middle of a 10-day little promotion thing, and just to get the word out. And it came out, and it's funny because Daddy says all these years, he goes, they're gonna figure out what you did, basically whether you like it or not. Isaiah always says that, but we did kind of switch it up where, you know, now we do have a lot of countries that come from Africa. Like, it was disgusting how they for 50 years they only had 70 years they only had like one country coming out of Africa. There's 50 something countries there. And now after we went, you know, they went from 3 to 5, and I think they might even expand it. Every single game is televised now on there. I wish I can get some of the highlights. And then the other side of it.
I'm going to stop you real quick, Red, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this process and being proud of my brother. What I've realized is that this Hall of Fame nomination is beyond his athletic ability and what he's done for basketball, but what he's done for an entire country and an entire continent, where he raised the expectations he helped raise the expectation of an entire country, an entire continent. And I commend the Naismith Hall of Fame for identifying that it was beyond just NBA. It's beyond a state. It's beyond a country. Is raising a culture. And Marques, I've seen him. I'm always in the background as a Cape Verdean national team will come here and there, and I get to hang on my brother's coattails. You know, I get to be in the background and observe everything. And what I've observed is that everybody acknowledges my brother for what he has done, and that he doesn't talk about as much of it as we think.
You know, that's so true. But I'm going to interrupt you 1 second, then I'm going to let you all can have the floor. What I said to you before, all y'all, is that I think Marcus has done more off the court than he has done on the court. And I want to ask one question, and then I'm going to shut my mouth. My question to you is, what made you feel that you could go overseas and then come back? And look how many people that you inspired to go with you to go play in Cape Verde Islands.
Well,
because it's more important, I think, than your stuff on the court.
And Kerry was one of them. Kerry went with you too.
I love the thanks, Mike. Those are real questions because so what happened was obviously Nana's story going back and forth. That just always was in the back of my mind about Cape Verde. But I'm trying to think, maybe it was Keefe Francis, one of those guys.
Nunu
talked about, maybe it was Uncle Nunu, that era. This is what I mean about Isaiah, us being around these guys. They did mention overseas because a lot of guys did go to Italy. A lot of guys did go to Spain. Like that, those leagues have always been strong. So it was just like, you know, as far as professional, thinking professional, I wasn't highly recruited. I should have been highly recruited now that you look back, but it is what it is. I put that more with the times. Same thing with me transferring. You know, I can't sit here and blame a coach. I think it's more of the times. If we knew, everybody knew what we knew now, the whole thing would be different. That's how I look at it. So as far as thinking about going over there, when they asked us to go, there was a team that Malcolm and out of Boston, Malcolm Smith and them introduced us to Paul Barrows from Boston, and he first of all, we always wanted to travel, right? Isaiah, we like when we went to California, we weren't traveling. We didn't have no money. We didn't grow up with stuff like that. But I like to travel. So that was like a trip where it was like, we get to go on vacation. This is kind of the first time we're a little bit older. Well, we think we're older. Isaiah's 18, 19. I'm 20, but like we're older. We're not going with mom and dad. So it was like, let's go on a trip. So I don't think I was ever fearful of traveling. So when we got there and we played well and they asked me to play again and I came back home, I went my senior year in college, and like that's when I went with Cape Verde, and then I was playing against these guys in France and Spain, and I was giving it to a few of them out there, and I'm like, hold on, I'm talking to them after, and this guy's making 50,000, this guy's making 90,000, and they were in decent leagues, and it was something that I knew I could play in, but no one really did it like that. So I knew I had to finish school no matter what, because I saw where I am right now. I saw that Isaiah and I had that vision. Like we were lucky enough to get that vision. Like I saw where I was like, I'm not going to be struggling all stupid when I get older, and because I wanted a business degree, no matter what, because I knew you can go like in all kind of different ways with a business degree. So that kept me polished. But to answer your question, once I was sitting in school, that's what got me focused and got me out of those years, because I was like, I'm going over there because my climb is going to be different. Some guys are going from NBA right in there, but my climb was going to be different. And then it was just all it was, Mike, was basketball with no books. That's all I saw. And that's what I did.
Yeah, pro.
But the thing, Marcus, that I was so impressed with is I didn't even know how many people from New Bedford went and played in the Cape Verde Islands. I had no idea some of them. And for you to do something like that, to expose them to a different culture, playing overseas, to me you set the bar. You set the bar. You know what I mean?
Hey, Michael, I have another guest. My son, Rue. He just came in.
It's a family affair.
Uncle Sonny, Missy, and Isaiah.
What's up, family?
You're right, Mike. Mike, this is what it comes down to. I got to play. I tell the kids this. I tell them all the time. I got to play with the trees. I got to play with the footers. Like we're from an area that we're not exposed to that because it's so small. So I got a chance to really play with a true two guard. Like everybody knows me as a two guard out here, but I got to play with a 6'7", two guard or a 6'9" that has to screen for you. That's what his job is. So that was my focus. But I knew it was a tightrope. You know, it was a tightrope. Being a professional was a tightrope, and I fell off of that. I don't fret from success almost engulfing you. So that was what I want. What I realized was like, no one hoops like us. Dad taught us to do. Dad and Uncle Sonny and all them taught us how to come off that screen. That's literally all I have to do. And the rest of it is basically don't abuse my body and don't abuse my life. And I had that under control because I definitely I was a potty animal, but I didn't abuse my body. I don't need to be drinking or doing the drugs to enjoy myself. I was back to my alone time after the games. Some guys actually had to drag me out.
Wow.
Hey, Mike, can I interrupt for a second?
You can run it.
Just did.
Go ahead, handle it.
Well, Miss Marcus, you were not on, and Isaiah, no, you were not on when Auntie Missy and I were first on. So, Missy, can you tell them the story about what Nana said about Marcus's feet? Can you say that so that he can hear it?
So what I said is that when Marcus was born and a baby, he always had sweaty feet. So Nana said that because his feet were sweaty, that she said this kid's going to travel. And what I was saying is that there is no doubt that Marcus was one that ended up by traveling all over the place.
You didn't know this story, Marcus, right?
Nah, I don't remember that one.
No, so I wanted you to hear this from her.
Probably heard it, but wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, Nana said it. Ask Nana. Mm-hmm.
I want to paint a picture for you guys, okay? So the picture is my parents, Isaiah, everybody bringing me to go on a contract. I'll see you in a few months. So we're driving up there. We go to the airport. I think Isaiah knows where I'm going with this. We go to the airport. We give hugs and kisses, tears and all that, and they walk off. But do you know what it looks like to see a family walking away? Like it does something to you. So I'm sitting there, and I just remember one time where you go through the gates and they're like, love you, can't wait to see you, but you're watching them walk away, and like, now I gotta go to this country, I gotta go. So long story short, I remember getting caught, like a little tear coming down because I'm sitting there it was a kid that was looking, and I looked up and everybody was going like to their family. So I try and tell people, it's like, because what do we do it for? I tease these young guys, Isaiah.
Yep.
If you're playing ball, you're doing it for the girls. So once you get to a certain level, and like now you're really, you might be something. Now you got to give up more than just girls. You got to give up, your free time and other stuff. And that's why a lot of guys overseas.
You gave up your family, and you know how close we are as a family. You gave up your family to be this, to do that.
Miss holidays, But as soon as you think about it, we got the strong women and men in our family that was saying, that's where you belong. In my first year, mom got cancer. Mom got colon cancer. Mm-hmm. So, I literally was like walking around Portugal for like a full day, just like, what am I doing? And I'm telling Dad, I'm going home. I'll be home in a few days. And Dad is smooth. He goes, you ain't going anywhere. All you're gonna do is come back here and make her worry and worry more. Right. And then after a while, she's gonna say you should just be out there. So stay out there.
So I want to say something. I want to say something about your parents. We came from a family of 10 girls and 1 boy. Uncle Ray was an uncle from the minute I met him. He used to pick us up from high school in his gold. I don't remember the car it was, but he brought us in from the minute that he met us, and he's been family. And I'll never forget being at their wedding and thinking, they're taking my sister away. It's never going to be the same again. I didn't want her back. But look what they brought us. Look at the joy they brought us. Isaiah, you too. Isaiah, let's do this for the camera. Me and Isaiah have this thing when we see each other. They always say we have beautiful smiles, so we do. Come on, Isaiah, one more time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marcus, I didn't mean to steal the moment from you.
No, you're good. don't forget another driving force was what we went through. You know, we went
As a
through a lot of
family.
shit, man. So it's one of
Absolutely.
those scenes where, you know, you gotta push for people that are here. There's a lot more people that are here that are gone. So, and a lot of young kids.
Yeah, a chain up in heaven's got longer than
Yeah.
the chain down here. And I told
Yeah.
my son, and Michael, this is one of the things I told my son. You never know what God puts close by you, because we were those kids that they looked at. We're not going to become anything. We didn't, like, we had the parents. We didn't have a lot, but I always knew in my heart that having family was better than having the jewels and the Dolce Gabbana, the Gucci, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The way I live my life right now, when I see my nephews, I don't send birthday cards, but when I see you, you know, you're the specialist one for me at that moment when I see you. And the love that we have and the joy that we spend with each other, I don't need a pocketbook in my room or boots in my closet. I need the joy that my son sees that when I'm gone, okay, they're gonna have this in their head. They're not gonna walk around trying to sell it to get some glory out of it. They're gonna have the joy of the memories. Okay, we had so many of us, and I sometimes I used to look around and think, is someone missing? Because we had so many. We didn't have tangible things, but we have that love that is in our hearts forever, that you can't steal, you can't take away, no one can buy it from you. Okay, that is the joy of these men right here and my sisters. Okay, you can't give us what you can buy. This is something that's born from your heart, and it will never leave. It's going on to our children. Well, Marcus, I'm so proud of you. Isaiah, I'm proud of you. Missy, I love you. Sonny, I love you too. But we've had a joy that most people can't understand. Well, Marcus, I'm so proud of you.
Did we lose anybody? Anybody hear me?
And I think they're frozen. Okay, Marcus is
I can hear you.
frozen.
I can't hear.
Okay.
Technology, man, things happen. I'm used to it. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Anyone want to bank on that? Because Poppy, we didn't have a lot of the outside things, but we had the
I'll bank
biggest.
on that. Having conversations with my brother and again going on the success that he's had is everything you talked about and everything that's beyond that in terms of family. We've talked. He's taken that with him, and he has stories that he can tell you. I'm not sure what he'll tell you today about just being a young man, but being a man in a foreign land is what he was able to do. Still be himself, still represent the family, but also represent a country and represent basketball as a whole. And that's why he's being honored for this, is because he hasn't changed who he is. Regardless if people like it or not, he is going to be who he is. He's going to tell you the truth. And that's how he was himself away, and how he is here is the same person. And I can't say how proud I am of my brother for being there and showing me how to do that.
Can you do a cheer for us with your pom poms, Isaiah?
I
My
appreciate
pom
you.
poms in the basement, so I have to
Miss
leave.
Abigail, where's Abigail? Can she do one for us?
If it's the right time, Abigail's in bed.
Hey, I checked. It is live on YouTube.
All
I
right.
told you, hey,
No, you're on point. No, I want to add to that, Isaiah. So first and foremost, I got to see the world during a certain time, and I got to see the real world. So that changes you. When you see people that are hungry versus unsatisfied, it's a different level of push. So that's what I took from that immediately. That's not just Africa. I said they don't tell the story of the dirty white kids in Europe either. They have it bad.
Well, you know, when Kerry went abroad, because Kerry went abroad for a while, but he went to Portugal. I'm not sure exactly where he went, but he would call me and I'm like, how do you communicate? He's like emotions. Okay. You don't talk with your words. You talk with your eyes and you talk with your facial expressions. And he's like, Auntie, can't even imagine the meals I had that I didn't even know. Because you guys learn to adapt to them. They don't adapt to you. And then you get to experience the joy in whatever they go through that we don't even know, because we are guaranteed a food. You know, most of us are guaranteed food, housing, and all that stuff day to day. But when you go abroad, you don't know what that's going to happen.
Yes, and it's different than vacation. So that's what I always tell kids. So when you see people that out there, they see the person that you are. The persona is not really necessary. like we need it out here. Like we live in a fast society. It's so fast that we don't realize it. There's a quote. I have a quote for you. Those who don't believe in hypnosis are already hypnotized. So like
Ooh,
if
I'm
you're
not
if
that
you're
one.
if you're
I'm not-
somebody that's so deep into something, and that's what we are as a society here. It's so noisy out here that we don't realize it. We just get used to it. So I got to see that from out front. And I use that to my advantage, for like trying to figure out how I'm going to survive later. Because I always knew that nothing was guaranteed. And like, honestly, I could have done a lot more from playing if I had even more focused, if I had more focus. But as far as being regular overseas and people seeing you for who you are, that's all they see, you know? So after games, I'm like Isaiah, I'm like my parents, I'm like how we were raised. Like, I just want to hang out. Don't matter how many people watch you. And then just hang out and be who you are. As far as that changing thing, like I couldn't change anyway because what I achieved, you can't do fraudulently. So like I could, there's nothing to change. Like it's like if I was somebody different, then I wouldn't have made nothing. I wouldn't have did nothing.
And Marcus, one of the things Carrie said is you meet somebody's soul. You don't meet the persona of who that person is. Because when you can't communicate in the verbal way and all that, because you can't cuss and you can't do that, you get to see somebody for their soul. And then you make friends for lifetime
And
connection.
that's so true. And before I let Sonny talk, because I'm sure he has quite a bit to say. Marcus, the thing that impressed me most of all, besides everything else, was like you're young, but you have an old soul. And what I mean by that is, I think you know where I'm going with this. While people your age were hanging out doing things, I see Marcus hanging out with Mr. Eddie Johnson. God bless his soul. And then I see Marcus hanging out with Dr. Jabril Kazan. And I know most people your age weren't doing that. So I can tell right off the bat that you were on a different level. You were on a different wavelength than most. And you always remained humble. Your age were hanging out with things. Who's that?
That's the double feedback. I was checking the thing. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm used to this. But yeah, so I mean, to me, that's like I was saying, all the people you brought from New Bedford to give them that experience that you had. I mean, you were going back and forth, 10 years, if I'm correct, around that. And for you to take the time to try to get people out here to go out and experience something that damn well they wouldn't be able to experience on their own. And
Well,
you set the table and the gateway for them to go to Cape Bird Islands and experience that level. And I mean, you brought Marcus Wills and the whole crew. And to me, that's true testament to you and what y'all about. I mean, y'all more than just the basketball players. That's why I didn't want to go over all the stats. Stats are cool.
Well, let's be real though, Mike. Let's be real. So a lot of those guys, I said, let's try to get on, but their ability got them there as well. Like,
right.
That's what I respect about a lot, and I'm glad you brought up. Like, first, I want to. I played for so many good coaches and with so many different good teammates. Like, it's beyond words. All my accolades from 2005 to 2007, especially with Cape Verde, not just in Europe, but all those accolades was because I had workmen and horsemen that were down there doing all the dirty work, all the beating up, all the sweat, so that I can come skying by and get a layup or get a 3-pointer, and then I get to shine. So like all that stuff, if you play the game right, then everybody does what they do, and I was lucky to be a scorer. But as far as being cool and keeping that convo on that side, like, you guys were correction officers. Like, people don't understand this. Like, I don't understand how you can go to work, be a correction officer, come back, have your family, do that day in and day out. I used to ask Dad that. Who knows what they went through? The stories are still disturbing. I'm hearing them at 44 years old. Hearing Uncle Sonny and Uncle Dave and us talking about stuff on the way to the Providence game. And I'm like, how do these guys do it? So they told me that they treat them like humans. So when people are like, oh, you're playing in Africa, you're playing here, how were they? What were they like, or what were they this? And it's like, that's almost insulting because, you know, they're humans and they value stuff and they'll give you off their back. So I just try to reciprocate that. But all I was seeing was what other people were already doing. That's why I always encourage people to go visit, you know, to go see it, to go see where Nana, and you go see where anybody's relative walked. I was on the inside of the National Geographic. I remember in Angola one time, we were just sitting there waiting for our bus, and there was a car that drove by, and they took like a picture of like a family that was laying on the side, and then as soon as they drove off, like the woman grabbed like a fruit or something or a rock and threw it at the car. And we were talking about it. It was like, look, man, that's the other side of National Geographic. Like they got that good shot, but they wasn't feeling it.
Oh, shoot.
So those stories stay close. I keep them to the people that know me. The reason why I hang with Eddie Johnson and those types, because I consider myself a philosopher. I'm stuck in a book all day. I look at the world from a totally different standpoint. You know, I don't put anybody on a pedestal. If you put somebody on a pedestal, expect a kick in the face. It's an old quote. Put yourself on a pedestal.
You've also never put yourself on a pedestal either.
Right. But hold yourself high. I'm into inner dialogue. I'm into existential philosophy, which is more about the individual and the responsibility that the individual has for himself. Like I've been on that for almost 20 years. So when things quote unquote don't go right, you have those philosophers. They tell you to go inward first, even if the situation is dire, even if it's really not your fault. You know, there's always a responsibility, and Isaiah talked about it, and I talk about it all the time. That's why my philosophy is 51%. Like no matter what happens, you know, I've been through a lot. At least 51% of it's my fault. It's really 99% of it is mine. But you know, when you lean towards this, they did this to me, or so and so did this, or this should have happened. I go inward first and figure out what led me to that, and that got me through a lot. And I don't stress.
Wow, Sonny, you got anything to add?
It sounds a little bit like Marques hung out with Poppy a little bit too.
Absolutely, Sonny.
I definitely did that.
One of the things that he would always say if we came home and we said so and so did this or that to me, or the teacher gave you a hard time, and Poppy would always say, well, what did you do? What was your role in that?
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought you were going the other way with Poppy.
There's a lot of ways to go with him, but
no, what I learned
with your 51%, it's almost like his philosophy. Like, how did you make this happen, or what was your role in this for this to happen? And it made you think. So you thought about the next time you went home and said, "Hey, such and such happened," because shit, you had to tell them your role first, you know. And it was easier to interact with people, you know, or things don't always go well, but when you step back, you say, shit, if I had handled this a little bit better, or looked at it from a different angle, then we wouldn't be in this predicament.
If you pull the line far back enough, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to say, Poppy used to say, if I hear something that you didn't tell me, you're going to be in trouble. When I go to the school and I have to talk to the person, you better tell me the good, bad, and indifferent. Because if I don't know everything, I hear something that you didn't tell me, you're in trouble. And then the other thing that Poppy has told me, and Marques, I don't know if you know this, Sonny, I don't know. Missy, you may have heard me say this. My father would say, don't make any decisions in the dark. When you're angry, what you see in the light is very different. Okay? And I know that you practice that, Marques.
Well, don't forget what the pros were, Auntie. The pros, this is what these kids don't understand. The pros is neck to neck. I'm taking your job and I'm taking your money. Like, this isn't like, oh, I got to go to HR. He followed me hard. You know what I mean? Like, this is, you know, and one of my opportunities in Europe is because of one of my good competitors, Julian Blanks from PA, he ended up getting hurt one game, and I was about to get cut, and that was my opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how crazy it is.
Cutthroat.
So like it's cutthroat. It's not for everybody at all. You know, I do not recommend it for everybody. I do recommend people pushing themselves and taking a risk. But when it comes to sports or it comes to any professional, put it this way: whoever's at the top worked that hard.
Right, you have the tenacity. You didn't even know you was at the top. That's the good thing about you. Is you didn't even know you were at the top. You were still trying to get better. I was a
pro. Professional label was what I wanted. I got a high school diploma. I got college graduate. And I was like, all right, what else is there? Because I'm not about Isaiah and I. We could get Benzes when we were younger. It's like this isn't about Benzes and hip hop. Like our friends are dying, you know, that they're really dying, and like what is this? And you always need that. You need an aim that's higher than you. That's almost impossible. You need that, and that's what 12th grade looks like to a 4th grader. We just don't look at it that way.
Right, and you know, one of my girlfriend's sons graduated from high school maybe like 6 years ago, and I was sitting at a table with her son and a bunch of the boys, and she looked at me and she said, "None of these guys graduated from high school." Sonny, remember, son, Daddy used to say that you can go to college, but you'll never be smarter than me. Okay, we don't need a PhD or whatever to be smarter than our parents, and we don't need an encyclopedia to say that we read the book and I'm smarter than you. What we need to do is bow down, appreciate the love, support, and all the kindness that we have, because we won't understand it until years later when we have our own children, we have our own families, we have our own world that we're into. Encyclopedia doesn't mean anything. Okay, doctorate doesn't mean anything. Common sense, love, just understanding, and just being a family, that'll take you to the sky and back. Okay,
you know.
You can be.
I guess he went to the sky and back, Marques, because he was.
You wrote that play with him.
He's humble enough to understand that he didn't know everything, and he tried.
Yep.
But he realized that, you know, at some point, your parents are right, and and your family is right, and you're gonna have to listen to their suggestions in order to be more successful. And he's done that.
You done both, Marques. We can't be.
That's why we're here, because he's done all that and more. That we're not. We don't. Most of us won't hear everything about it, but we're here because of what he's done and his personality, his character, and what as a family and as a community he's grasped everything that was given to him, and he took advantage of it, and it's been great to watch.
That's why we're educators, bro. We tell the kids the same thing. Sorry,
you guys,
Mike, we're taking over your show.
Huh? No, I don't care. No, the only thing is,
this is real family talk. This is what we do all together. We talk real shit.
Oh, it's live. It's live. So
it's real.
It's popular now, Auntie.
No, you don't think so. This show's seen all over. You know, and this is kind of what I wanted. And thanks to Bev, you know, for hooking this up. Family idea.
Thanks to Marques for making this happen.
But, you know, unfortunately, you know, we have 25 shows we show on the network, and I got an NBA show coming up as well. Right. So I would love to have you guys, you know, say your final. First of all, I'll start off. Marques, I'm so proud of you. You know, I love you to death, and what a great honor that you have been bestowed upon, and it's all well worth it. You deserve every single bit of it, and I'm proud of you, and the fact that you still remain humble, and that's a tribute to your parents and to your family, and God bless you. And who's going to be next?
I'm next.
Isaac, Sonny, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm next. Marques, like Mike said, proud of you for being humble. But one of the biggest things, as I said earlier, is you working with the youth that are in the Girls and Boys Club, the kids that probably don't get picked to play on some of those teams. You take them all in and you turn them into good people, good athletes, good students, because you incorporate all your rules, everything that you've learned along the way, you pass on to those kids. And I got a couple of guys here right now that that'll be coming to you soon.
Yes.
The-
Wait.
I brought him to a couple of practices, and we're
Good
getting
job,
them ready
Sonny.
for next year.
Yeah, they're coming.
Because I want them to learn from you. And I don't want them to learn from somebody who is a great ball player and doesn't have all the great skills, the other skills, the interpersonal skills that you have. So
Appreciate
continue
that.
to do what you do, and those kids are gonna carry you when you can't be carried anymore, just like you do to the Butch Silvers. Mike talked about you spending time with some of the elderly, but the Butch Silvers and I can name many, many more. But we're proud of you and thank you.
Appreciate that.
I'm waiting for Auntie Beth to volunteer me next.
Yes, we gotta do the smile first. Do the smile.
Now I'm gonna piggyback on Uncle
Do the
Sonny.
smile. Do the smile.
I'm gonna piggyback on Uncle Sonny. Just congratulations first on everything that you've done to be acknowledged. Finally, and we've had a long road together, and you have been that rock. You've been that dude, and we get to talk a lot. And I'm lucky enough that other people don't get to hear it, but we get to talk more than people think. But at the same time, the way you're bringing your mentality of what you've been through to the young kids, like Uncle Sonny said, it's this is bar none. It's amazing to see the turnaround and the appreciation that all these kids have for you. And I can't wait for them to hear this news at some point over the next couple of weeks when they realize who their coach is or who has coached them in the past. Like this guy has done is that guy, and he would never told us, but someone else told us, and that's been you the whole time, and I love that about you. I love our conversations, and I'm just so proud that I'm part of your story, and you're a big part of my story. Love you, brother.
Love you, man.
All right,
Appreciate
Missy,
that,
you
bro.
go next. Missy, you go next.
Thanks, Beth.
I'm still the older sister, Missy. As long as you want to be the older sister, I still am the older sister.
Hello. I just wanted to congratulate you. We are so proud of you, and thanks for being not only inspiration to this family, but to so many other people. Oh, it's amazing, and I know more people are going to see your greatness. So continue doing you. We love you, and God bless you.
Love you, Auntie. Appreciate that.
All right. So I'm going to say, Marcus, when I read your post that said you were blown away, like you didn't understand, you don't even know who you are. If you look yourself in the mirror, you would see all the love that we see that you can't see. And God gave us eyes that we can see through your soul. You have reached so many people. You know, there were people in our lives. We struggled through our journey in life. There were people that brought us up. And I still reach out to those people that say thank you. You don't understand the little hug, the little kiss, the little thank you, touching somebody can change the direction of their life. Okay? You just saying hello, just honestly, you don't understand the impact that you have. And I'm so grateful to see your light because you haven't stopped shining yet. You're going all the way to the moon and back. So keep shining your light. Don't let anyone dim your light and know that you are more awesome than you can even imagine. And your parents are smiling from the inside out. I talked to your mom today. She's like, "Can you believe this?" Yes, I can believe it. That's my sister. You think she couldn't do this? Couldn't bring you into the earth? And your father? My mother and father couldn't be a part of this journey? I'm going to touch people that you don't even know that knew our family on the other side in Cape Verde. So thank you. Jordan and Danny, can't wait for you to get there because you're Michael Jordan to them. They don't do the fame thing, but they do the family thing. So Nan and Poppy, they are so blessed. And enjoy your life, Marcus. Enjoy
I
your
appreciate you guys. Auntie, thank you. All you guys, thank you. You know, Isaiah knows me. Accolades are cool. I definitely see the bigger picture now. But it was a big effort. Like I said, it's just reciprocated because I saw what you guys pushed in us, And then I saw the opportunity and the strength from my ancestors. So the reason why I try to push people and try and push them into and try these different opportunities is because I think a lot of people would just need that like one shot, you know. And a lot of people have helped me and pushed me, and I keep that private. But why not take a risk? That's what I say to people. You're here. I don't fear stuff the same way. But there's nothing like having a goal to push for, even if it's something that other people might not think is as high. So that's why I think it's a good thing. I think it's cool to be recognized. I'm glad people can see that I was that nice. I am that cocky. I do tell kids that you cannot be that cocky if you get to that high level. But there's a piece for that, and it's accomplishment. And if you do it the right way, I have friends for life, and I have friends from all over the world, and they hit me up just like their family. So it's bigger than ball. I'm glad this comes out. I hope this inspires a lot of people. But just like Isaiah knows, I'm the same kid. So whoever sees this, hit me up. All right, this isn't like I'm not some, now he did this and now, like, you know, hit me up. I'll keep it real.
It's a journey, a lifetime journey.
And I just gonna jump in. One last comment from me is, I heard somebody while watching a NBA game and him say, "I'm him." Well, I'm here to tell you, you're him, and we're proud of you. That
appreciate you guys. I love all you guys. I love all the support, man. It's cool that story gets to be told.
I want to add one more thing, if I could. You know, first of all, I want to thank the network for allowing me to do what I do, because to let you all know, this is the first time anything like this has ever been done on this network. And my producer, Key Williams, is responsible for, because I don't know how to turn the damn thing on. So without her, I couldn't even be doing this, you know what I mean? And I want to thank Bev for setting this up. And, you know, I wanted to make it a family. I wanted to do something a little bit different. And you guys have made it very special for me. And I wanted, you know, Marques to get his roses, his flowers. And I'm glad the family came on. To me, it's really special to me. You know, I love the family. And, you know, Marques wasn't too sure how many people this is going to reach. It's going to reach quite a bit. So my only thing before I shut my mouth, Marques, if people want to get in touch with you, let them know how they can get in touch with you, because I guarantee there's going to be people that are probably going to reach out to you. And, you know, you've been there, you've done that. And, you know, you may be even helping out some people, because we have a lot of sports athletes who might want to go overseas and play, or maybe they want to do, it don't have to be basketball, but maybe whether it be football or soccer or whatever. What advice would you give? Because a lot of times when I do my shows, believe it or not, I like to make an impact or have my guests make an impact. And that's why they allow me to do the things that I do. So if you could, you know, relay some information that could be beneficial to the youth that might be watching this, or someone that really might pay attention to what you're saying, because you have reached the pinnacle. And coming from you, I think will mean a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reach me. So Zach Rocha and I have houtmanforthehall.com. And we just have that for now, because NBA All-Star Weekend, they do the finalists, and then they name the finalists, and then March Madness, I think they do the who's going to get in. So we're just going to have that for a little bit. So you can go on that site and get in contact with me on my Facebook, or you can just email me. It's MHOUT22, mhout22@gmail. I'm helping kids all the time. We have a kid that's going to be coming over. We're working on his stuff. He's supposed to go to Roxbury Community College in the fall. He can really play. He's from Pryor. So we do try to do that. As far as advice for people trying to play professional or trying to reach any goal, I think it's the first step is definitely understand that you can push and kind of reach for what you want. You know, this is God's earth. You do have free choice. Now, part two is where it gets real. So as soon as you decide to try to reach a goal, the biggest knocks at your door are discipline and sacrifice. And that's what people don't want to respect, especially in this country. So we daydream a lot, and I think people should have big dreams, but I do not play around with that procedure. So that's my advice to people in anything, especially sports. But if you really are shooting for something and you decide that in here, then you have two monsters that are going to show up at your door. I call them, they're like Italian mafioso hitmen, and you have to convince them that they're gonna protect you. And that's what I did: sacrifice and discipline, and invite them in.
Wow, that's deep, man. Again, I want to thank all you guys for coming on my show. I greatly appreciate it. And Marques, I'm sorry, man, but come spring, summertime, y'all gonna be fighting for second place down Money Park. I got y'all can be fighting for second place.
I might even use my right hand this time, Uncle Sonny. All this other stuff was when I was shooting lefty.
It's been a blast. Again, Bev, thank you for hooking this up. I'll be sending.
Ray, we love you.
I love you guys. I appreciate this.
Congratulations, brother. Love you, man.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Mike. I
Blessings.
really appreciate you, Mike.
Nothing but
I want
love.
to shout out Mike.
Blessings. Mike, thank you. Thank you for
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, I'll be
sending family and allowing this platform. Mike.
You're gonna get the replay of this in about 5 minutes. I'll be sending it to you guys. Thank you so much. God bless.
Love you.
I love you.
Love you.
Love everybody.
Thank you.
Love you.
Isaiah.